Honestly, it's been a hell of a week. Had busier weeks, but just busy. Plenty going on. Right, give me a chance to get set up. Let's try and find the live stream. Come on, YouTube, you can do it. There we go. Right, who have we got in the workshop today? Apart from an ad. Go away, advert. Jeez. Simon Rawle. Good morning, Simon. Welcome back, matey. Mike Bazanski. Good morning, all. Good morning to you, sir. Roger Heaps. Good morning, Andy and crew. Good morning, Roger. Hope your trip went well yesterday. Try not to spill my coffee. George Bonnie 90. Hello, everybody. Jim K. Well, it's all the regulars this morning. Look at them all popping up. Jim K. Good morning, Jim. Apologies. I think I missed one of your calls this week. Apologies. I don't know. I think I was driving a digger at the time. Oh, by the way, Mrs. Mechanic has now named the Kubota tractor that we have. Yes, everything seems to get a name, all the vehicles, and it's now known as Trevor the tractor. Trevor. Okay. We used to have a loading shovel in the UK. We called it Scoop because it was sort of, related to the vehicle in hand. Man, you're saying that, the Unimog. Did that have a name? I think we just called it Unimog. Didn't actually have a real name. If it did, I can't remember it. Yeah, Jim K. Trevor, that's right. Audio Origami. Hello from Scotland. Good morning, Scotland. Sorry, I can't do a proper Scottish accent. Mike's Automotive Diagnostics. Hello, hi, Andy. Good morning, Mike. From Illinois, US. I hope all is good in Illinois at the moment, Mike. S&A Auto Repair. Corey's around. Happy Saturday. Corey, you're in the past, mate. We here in New Zealand, we're in the future. It's pretty good. Good morning, Corey. So, what's been going on? Well, I did another trip to Zombieland on, honestly, I forget when it was. Was it Tuesday? I don't know. Thursday. Thursday it was. Went to Zombieland, Auckland, on Thursday and took up another ROV. Dropped off the big trailer at work. So that's actually in Zombieland as we speak. And then did a couple of errands and then went round and collected the small trailer, the little Ivor Williams, the one from England. And Ben had loaded it up to the gunnels. In fact, I might have a photo. Hang on. I might have a photo for you. I'm sure I took one in Matamata on the way down. Let me try and find it for you. Yes, there we are. Will it twizzle? Yes. Okay. Not sure if you can see this or not. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. In fact, you don't even need to see the ute. So there's the trailer. Absolutely loaded up to the gunnels with a bit of overhang. And if you see there, look, we're going to talk about this shortly. There's a massive wooden pallet that Ben's made, a big pallet box that is made out of pallet timber. And you'll see that in the thumbnail photo as well. And he said, oh, it might be a bit heavy. No shit, Sherlock. Honestly, it was full of motorcycle engines. So you can imagine how much it weighed. Anyway, we sort of struggled our way through, and Trevor the tractor did extremely well in unloading that trailer. Lots of precarious loads hanging off the bucket. The pallet folks haven't yet arrived. They'll be here in a few weeks. So I had to come up with an ingenious plan on how to unload everything using the normal bucket and some chains and ratchet straps. But we pulled it off really, really well. Had a good morning. This was Friday morning. Got it all done, apart from the large pallet. And I knew it was heavy because I had to drag the pallet to the back of the trailer. So I put a big chain through the pallet at the bottom, through the where the forks normally go in, and then just reverse Trevor back slowly and drag the pallet across the bed of the trailer until I got a bit of overhang to sneak the bucket underneath. Well, as I did this, you should have seen how high the back of the ute went up. There was definitely negative hitch weight. The trailer was wanting to tip backwards and the back of the ute wanting to go up in the air. I don't know how heavy it was. I just know that once I got it in the bucket, there was no hope in hell's chance that little Trevor was going to be able to lift it up. So I had to make a management decision. It's not often, but basically I decided, with the ratchet straps being nice and tight and the pallet sort of perched one side in the bucket, I decided to just bring it off the trailer. Now, a couple of things could have happened here. Well, the ratchet straps could have snapped, boom, on the floor. The back of Trevor could have lifted off the ground, which is what my main concern, although it has got the backhoe on it. Or the rams could have just given up. Obviously, there must be some kind of pressure relief valve, and the rams would have just dropped down and the bucket would have gone to the ground. I had no idea. So I gingerly pulled it off the back of the trailer, but I couldn't go really slowly because if it did drop down, it would have taken the lights out because some of the lenses sit slightly proud. So I had to just give it a little bit to hop it over the edge. And sure enough, Trevor held the load. It was precariously perched about a foot and a half off the ground. And I thought, right, we get one chance at this. Give it a little try to lift it up. Didn't want to know. Reversed up the drive and under the carport. And all the time I could see the bucket slowly starting to creep down. And I knew I couldn't lift the thing back up again. And where I wanted to put this pallet, I hadn't really planned my attack. Where I wanted to put the pallet, I'd already put the red plastic pallet box, which wasn't that heavy. So I had to park Trevor up, jump out of Mrs. Mechanic, and then manhandle the red pallet out of the way, out of the corner, and get this massive pallet put in the corner. Well, as I approached the concrete, the new step we'd made, the pallet was exactly the same height as the concrete. And I'm there, shouting commands to Mrs. Mechanic because it's quite noisy as Trevor. And am I okay? I don't want to damage the concrete. Am I okay? Am I okay? And she said, yeah, go. Because she could see the pallet slowly dropping down. Anyway, we got it onto the new concrete plinth and then extracted the bucket and the straps and stuff. And then we spent about half an hour trying to work out how to get this monstrous pallet right into the corner. And in the end, I took down a panel off the end piece of the carport, put a big strop around it, and then dragged it into place using Trevor. Worked brilliantly. But I had to disassemble part of my new carport to actually get the pallet where I wanted it. I tried pushing it with a bucket. I couldn't quite get the angle right. I tried using the backhoe to push it sideways. No chance. It's not a 360 excavator, is it? To be fair. But we got there in the end, and it was a good session, to be fair. And I only just got up to the local township on the afternoon to get my third brainy poke session for the COVID test. And man, I think it must be really sore up there now because it really, really hurt. It hurt 10 times more than the first one. I was really wincing, to be honest. There was tears streaming down my face. I wasn't crying. It was actually just the pain causing my eyes to water. But yeah, it took probably like 24 hours to recover from that one. Didn't feel good at all, to be honest. So next time I go, it'll be the left-hand nostril. I'll make sure of that. Now, what's next? Well, Richard Perry, Morning Andy and crew, GB, good man. Brendan Lee Grant Mills, hi mate, how are you? Glad to see you're okay. I am okay. We've been really busy. That was just one of the busy days. The trip to Auckland on the Thursday, the day before, was a 12.5-hour run by the time I got home again. And like I said, Ben massively overloaded the trailer. When I got there to hitch it on, the tyres, well, I wouldn't say they were completely flat, but they weren't far off. And I said to him, what pressure did he put in them? Because it had been parked for a while. He says, I put them at 40. I says, well, there's no way it's going to get down to Taupo with tyres like that. They're going to overheat and explode. And you all know the history of the problem with the tyres on that trailer. Although we seem to have fixed it recently. He said, ooh, okay. I says, well, I'll take it slow and I'll get to the nearest petrol station, which was actually about 60 kilometres away. And I blew them up to 55 with the maximum pressure, as indicated on the sidewall of the tyre, 50 psi. And each tyre can only carry 400 kgs. Well, I reckon on that trailer there was probably about, well, including the trailer weight, about 2.5 ton. So yeah, those tires, well, they hung in there. They did get real hot. I kept stopping to check them. Luckily, in this particular instance, it was luck. It was pouring down with rain. And that rain obviously would have, helped to lubricate the road surface and help to reduce friction between the tire and the road surface and reduce, temperature. So I think by the skin of my teeth, we didn't have any blowouts. I was expecting at least one, to be honest. Now, 404 not found. Good day, Andy. Good morning, 404. Brendan Lee Grant Mills, smash the like button because we know it's going to be a good live stream. Thank you, Brendan. Faith, as always. Simon Rawl, it's not a real Andy trailer workshop move if the trailer is not overloaded. Much respect for that. It seems that you're quite right, Simon. It does seem that pretty much every trailer load that I do, unless it's just ROVs, it's overloaded. Way overloaded. It didn't look overloaded because it was only a little trailer behind the ute, and I sort of got away with it. There were a few cops around, to be fair, but and it handled well. It didn't sway around, so Ben got the hitch weight right because that big pallet was right at the front. But yeah, it was pushing. When he was slowing down, it was pushing. But I did recently redo the brakes on that trailer, so they were definitely working really well. You could feel them coming on. Audio origami, lol. Good man. Connor K, good morning, Connor. Might be a bit heavy. I hope the load didn't shift around while moving. I thought it might have done, and when I started in Matamata to pick up tea, hadn't noticed that there was an overhang on the trailer, so that's why I took the photo and sent it to Ben and said, hey, have things moved around a bit since you loaded it up? He went, no, that's the only way I could fit everything on, Dad. It had to stick out the back. Okay, cheers, just checking. He was very pleased I made it home in one piece, to be fair. Dave C. Hey, Andy and crew from Virginia, USA. Dave C. I know another Dave C. Obviously not the same one because he's not in the USA, but good name. Josh Benny. Hello, Andy. Been a while. I've been on YouTube, lol. Well, yes. To be fair, I haven't done a new video for a while. I feel really bad about it. I don't think I'm going to get time today either, but we'll see. Dave C. Any thoughts on tyre balancing beads? About to put some new tyres and tubes on my CV750. Tempted to try them. Very, very mixed feedback on those balancing beads. They only provide one. I think they only provide a static balance. They don't provide a dynamic balance, which is not the end of the world because most of the time you're only static balance a motorcycle wheel anyway. Some people rave about them. Some people hate them. I've never tried them, in all honesty. All I can say is give it a go. See how you get on. You might like them, you might not. I just prefer having the proper weights on there, peace of mind. But in theory, they should work just fine. Audio origami. We love all your videos. Well, thank you very much, matey. Appreciate that. Roger, what's the pie? Well, today's pie is a bit of a surprise because we're very, very limited at the moment where we can go for pies. So, of course, default Wild Bean Cafe. The original pie survey, which we were doing at the start, was initiated when we weren't in lockdown. So you've got to forgive me a little bit about the whole logistical element of trying to get different brands of pie. This one is not a steak and cheese pie. And the survey was all about steak and cheese pies because it was to keep a consistency on the reviews, a like for like comparison. But this one, it shone out at me from the cabinet. And I read the little label, it said meatballs and bacon. And I'm like, seriously, who would make a pie with meatballs and bacon in it? Now, I like bacon. Don't get me wrong, I really, really like bacon. And bacon can pretty much go with anything, and it makes things a lot better. So thank you, Mr. Piggy. But meatballs and bacon, it's not a steak and cheese. It's not something I would normally go for. And I thought, well, this Sunday is the last live stream in the workshop for a few weeks because I'm in the South Island. We need something a bit different. So, look at that. It's got colour and everything on the lid. It could be really nice. It could be bloody awful. I just don't know. But it has got bacon in it. That could be the saving grace. Not a fan of meatballs. Anyway, we will find out. Should we go and put it in the pie warmer? Because I've got loads of stuff to show you. We've got a parcel to open from David Silver Spares as well. Right, unplugging you. We'll get rid of that. And doing the turning round. 1, 2, sorry, no, it's the wrong way. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Right. All sorts of surprises today. Oh, hang on, I need the paper. Jeez, hang on then. Stick it in the middle. Right. Camera work, camera work. Look at that pie. It's got a lot of stuff on the lid. Okay, now I was using the battery charger the other day. You've got to forgive me, there's wires all over the place. Poor old Patron needed charging up again. The battery's getting a little bit sad. And he's charging up about every 2 weeks now. Right, hopefully there's no fire. Get that cranked up. There we go. Okay, so what can I show you while we're walking around? Well, I tied it up under the bench with Mrs. Mechanic. Look at this. We've got roll cabs. Look at that. So we've got more room for project stuff because there's lots of projects. So we've got Mr. Myford lathe, drawer 1, drawer 2. Jeez, drawer 3, 4-jaw chuck. You've not seen that before, I don't think. And a faceplate, look at that. And the big drawer. And that was the reason why I got that rail cab, just to fit all this stuff in. Brilliant, isn't it? And the roll cabs, as you can see, only just fit under the bench. We had to take the aluminium sheet out, put the roll cab in, lift the roll cab up on both roll cabs at the same time, and then slide the sheet back under. It was quite a feat of engineering, I must admit. Took us some doing, and 2 ratchet straps at the same time, well, actually 4 ratchet straps in the end. But it's massively tied it up the end of the workbench. It's almost respectable now. Look at that. Bloody good. Right, what else can we have a wander around? Let's have a look over here. Okay, here we go. So you all know that I'm on with fabricating up some more of these front suspension braces. These haven't been touched. I've only done a batch of 10 out of the 25 that needs to be done. We did them all basically yesterday. This is the last bit to do. These are all threaded and final drills are done. The holes are all right. So these are all 10.5. Mrs. Mechanic was deburring and everything. She was doing all that with a little countersunk bit. The other bits are finished and painted. And we've got some more stuff around here. I know you like these fabrication projects, so there you go, look. All these are all done and painted, drilled and everything. Obviously drilled, you can't drill them after you paint them. And these are the little end plates. So each kit gets 4 of those. Each kit gets 2 of these, 1 of those, and 1 of those. So they're going to get cleaned up and painted today. And the kits will get assembled tomorrow morning before I go up to Auckland and individually packed as well. Right. Oh, yes, and over here, these are all the nuts and bolts. I'm not going to open the boxes, but we've got big bolts. We've got some stainless countersinks. In fact, I hope we've got some stainless countersinks. We've got lots of washers. What's in there? M10B65s. M10B65. What's in that one? Jeez, I didn't even look at these. I know Jared sent the right gear because that's what Jared does. He's a good guy. M10B65s. They're all the same. M10B75s, M10B75s, M10, oh, Nylox. There should be some stainless cap heads in here. There, M8B30 stainless cap heads, countersunk. Bloody good, Jared. Hopefully we've got a few of those. Yep, got another one of those. Some more flat washers. Flat washers, heavy duty flat washers, by the way, 3mm thick. Right, there you go. Look, I've sorted it all out now. Nuts, long bolts, short bolts, lots of washers. So lots of washers, cap heads, and some more nuts. Jeez. Oh, man. Good job. Oh, and we're going to need some of those as well, look. I don't know if I've got enough. I'm not sure. I'll have to have a count up. I did 50 originally. Right, back to the bench. Okay, let's catch up with the comments. Where are we at? Oh, got to scroll up. Bear with me. Right, so there you go, Roger. What's the pie? Good segue, mate. Thank you. Off-road fan. Good morning, Andy and crew. Good morning, off-road fan. And it's time for a bit of a slurp. Not over hot. Mike's Automotive Diagnostics. An excellent question. Where are all the gals? Well, believe it or not, they are stuck in Auckland. Some of the tool girls have migrated around the world. A couple of them now live in Australia, believe it or not. So obviously they're not going to come back and do any more work in the workshop. Pretty sure of that, to be honest. They've made good, made a life over there, so that's the way it is. Holly is in Auckland. I don't think she's working. I'm not sure. I haven't spoken to her for a couple of weeks, to be honest. Hang on a minute. Have I missed some? Oh, no. Bear with me. There's no countersinks on that one. Did I put it down the... Oh, that's all right. I thought I'd missed out doing some countersinks then, but they're all right. Okay, cool. A surprise flip round on the camera. Yeah, so at the moment, due to lockdown here in New Zealand and Auckland, and in actual fact, not just Auckland now, so the Auckland area, the whole of Northland, a big chunk of East Hamilton over to the coast, Raglan area, and the border has now been extended this way to only 20 minutes drive from here, maybe half an hour's drive from here, going east is the border. That's all level 3. It's not good. It's not good at all. There are calls for making the whole of the North Island level 3, right, and do away with the border, so everything, it's easier to control, and you just got to worry about the ferry, I suppose, and the flights. I don't even know if the flights are still running, to be honest. Out of Auckland, they won't be, I don't think. Well, they won't be. Probably around the rest of the country they are, though, level 2. But anyway, basically, it's spreading. It is. It's getting out of control. There was a guy on the news had basically just, I don't know whether he knew he had it or not, but he jumped in his car and he was driving around all over the place, did loads of visits. And that's, caused a lot more problems, and that's why the Northland part of the North Island has now gone to level 3, purely because of his actions. So it's not good. It's not good at all. And we're always going to get that small percentage of dumbass people just not following the rules. And it spoils it for the rest of us, because we're all doing what we need to do to try and get rid of it. And it is a massive inconvenience, obviously. It's caused a lot of problems for me. I've not been able to do any filming with the Tool Girls here in the workshop for nearly a year? Feels like a year. I think Holly was down December time, wasn't it? What we are now, October, so 10 months. It's way too long, but hey, it is what it is, and I can't do anything about it, unfortunately. Now, where are we? Josh Benny, glad you're doing well. I'm okay, Josh. I've got a massive trip coming up shortly. Got to get these kits fitted. I wanted to do all 25 kits, but there was no way. We just don't have time. So we decided to knock out 10 kits. That'll do for now. Do the rest when I get back. Laser cutting came back for the footwell support plates. I'll show you that a bit. I'll finish with cigarette first. We'll go have a look at that. I've just spotted it over there. Simon Roll just had a steak and kidney pie. He's Don't really get steak and kidneys over here. Steak and kidney pies. I've not seen a steak and kidney. If I see a steak and kidney, I will definitely get it. Audio origami bacon, big smiley face. You can't go wrong with bacon, honestly. It's just like the magic food, isn't it? Let's test it very shortly. It's got about another 15 minutes to go, I think, by the looks of it. Mike's Automotive Diagnostics. A turd would taste good if bacon was on it. You can try that. I hear what you're saying, but you know. Okay, here's a good one. J. Billy Josh. Good name. What a unit you have there, bud. It's getting there. There's a lot of drawers. But I tell you what, I need lots of drawers because it's a multi-use kind of workshop, is this one. You know, you need a clean environment when you're working on engines and bits and pieces. And a lot of the stuff in the drawers needs to stay clean because it's for projects and tools and other bits and pieces, obviously. But we also do a lot of fabrication work as well. A lot of it off camera, making various kits and welding and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, as you can imagine, it can become a very, very, very dirty environment very, very quickly. A lot of the shelves are covered in dust, grinding dust. There's tons of swarf that I'm sweeping up from all the drillings we've been doing. And I even had Mrs. Mechanic. I got the second pillar drill set up yesterday on a little workbench that's a bit lower than the main benches, and she was doing all the deburring of the holes with the countersunk bit. Did a fantastic job. She did in about 2 hours. She did 140. Sorry, that's wrong. 1,040 pillar drill actions. How's that? And one action is deburring the one end of a hole, basically. So she was pretty busy, and she just cracked on with it. Very helpful. Couldn't do it without her. John Nuttall, it's like Christmas parts for the CB. It is. When I finish my cigarette, on the next tour of the workshop, we're going to open this. This came from David Silver Spares. It's a lot of the odds and sods that I need for the bike. I've almost pretty much forgotten what's in there, so it's going to be a surprise for me as well. I know what's not in there, and that is the rubbers for between the carbs and the airbox. They're coming from Kai Tire. Managed to source those genuine. I've stressed they were genuine. Managed to source them a bit cheaper, so try and save a few bucks. And they are on their way. I got a notification. I got the invoice through on an email, which means they're in the post. They might arrive tomorrow morning, or they might arrive while I'm away. And I'm going to be away in the South Island for nearly 3 weeks, so a lot more stuff's going to turn up while I'm gone. I need to test fit those footwell plates today to make sure that they've cut them right and that my drawings are correct. If they are, then I can give them a big thumbs up and they can do the full order. And I'll collect those obviously when I get back from the South Island. That's a massive job. Just the countersinks alone. There's 100 plates. It'll do 50 kits. Each main plate has 6 countersinks. That's 600 countersinks to do. That's a lot of work to do manually, but it has to be done. All the holes need to have their final drillings. They all need to be deburred. Fortunately, there's no cutting to do, and there's no folding to do. All the folding was also done by the laser cutting place, which is a massive bonus to me, and it made very little difference to the cost, which I was quite pleased about. Because they're quite small plates. You'll see when I show you, but they're quite small plates, but they're 6mm steel. So you'd need a hell of a folding machine to be able to fold those without it just flexing the folding machine. It's just way too thick for anything cheap to purchase. Or if I was going to make something, then it would be... I could make something, and that was the original plan, but it's more time, and I'm very time short at the moment. Audio origami. OMD. What's that stand for? Oh my something. That's so much good stuff. Well, we're getting there. I'm gonna need a bigger shed though, I know that. Cheems Potions. Greetings from Nebraska. Well, good morning, Cheems Potions. That's a weird name. Dave C, sounds like guys are under martial law over there. In all honesty, that's probably not a bad idea. I was a little bit surprised that the police at the border crossings weren't armed. I think it would have sent out a really good message. And maybe there's been quite a few people trying to get through between level 2 and level 3, the border, we call it, with false documents. And that guy that was driving, no, sorry, there were 2 women that were stopped in a car, and it turned out they had false documents. I mean, what the hell? I mean, really, what's going on? Connor K, damn it, man. The shop is looking sharp. You can never have too much tools, hardware and parts storage. Good location for the project parts under the bench. Yeah, under this bench has just been, you always end up with a part of your workshop for what we call the wrangham. Yorkshire word, I think. For all the wrangham. And under there were axle stands and old engines and lots of dirt and bits of wood for jacking things up and an old scrap metal bin. And it was just a tip. It was completely disorganized, and it was a pain in the ass, and it bugged me for the 2 years that I've been down here. So I had a quick measure up a few weeks ago, and I thought, I wonder if I can sneak a couple of roll cabs in there, the short height ones. And sure enough, with a bit of jiggery pokery, we managed to get them in there, and it does look a lot better. It's a much better use of the space, a lot easier to keep clean, and the things in the drawers will stay clean. That's the important thing. Easy to wipe down. Roger Heaps, get down here, matey. You can base here if need be. Escape the North Island. Yeah, well, Eloise is going to live in Queenstown, so she's got it sorted. Purple Monkey, 1974. Any live streaming when you're away? I think that, well, I know that there will be. We're going to continue with the Sunday morning live streams on location. It's very rare at the moment. And I'm going to try and do a few pie tasting videos, pie survey videos whilst I'm away as well. I don't think there'll be live streams because a lot of there's not particularly good internet. As soon as you get out of the cities in the South Island, the internet can be pretty poor, pretty patchy. So I think there'll actually be videos that I'll edit up and then post onto the channel in the normal way. I can edit those on the road now, so that will be really good. You at least will get some content back on the channel. Again, my sincere apologies. Just been too busy to make any more videos. I really wanted to get the Myford lathe finished, stripped before I went away, so I can find out any more parts that I need to order. They could get ordered and hopefully be here by the time I get back. I've missed that window. I just don't have the time to do it. I'm not going to run an all-nighter to do it. It's not fair on the videos, and in all honesty, I've got a lot of driving coming up, so I need to be reasonably refreshed for that as well. And at this point in time, I'm pretty knackered, to be honest. I need to get a good night's kip tonight, I know that. Right. Where are we? Ashley Derrick. Hi. Would a Frey Bentos tin steak and kidney pie truly come bottom of your pie reviews? I'm just not a fan of them. Maybe it's the way that I cook them, but I think with those Frey Bentos, because I'd have to take it out of the tin to cook it. And I think they're a bit fragile to get out of the tin. Unless I froze it first. So if I took the lid off, froze it, and then got it out of the tin, and then cooked it in an oven, it probably would be okay. I'm not a chef, so, I'm just sort of thinking of it logically. Maybe that would change my perception of the Frey Bentos. But I only ever had them in the UK. We should try it one day. I'll get Mrs. Mechanic on the case. One day we'll cover a Frey Bentos. Now, where are we? I've got to scroll down again. Springy 2112 or 2112, whichever you say it. Good morning, Andy. You're looking well. It's still Saturday evening here in your old homeland. The workshop looks really smart. Peace and love, brother. Likewise, sir. Yes, we are getting there. I've still got some plans for the big air compressor has to come out because it's nice to get most of my big bench back, especially with these fabrication jobs. That was my plan, was to clear the bench, had to get the roll cabs off there. The Myford lathe is going to end up on that bench at some point. Don't know when yet though. Once it's all stripped. Then I can get the big air compressor off, but I've got nowhere to put it at the moment. And I'm not going to stick it under the carport because, well, it's worth a lot of money. It needs to be secure. So it could be there for a bit longer. But eventually there'll be some, there was a corner racking, that red racking, there was a corner piece where the press is now. And that will, I can make some shelving out of that like I did on this side that will sit probably about 6 inches above the bench, which obviously means I can still put strips of steel and stuff under there when I'm cutting them, so I can still maintain full bench size for working, and it's obviously easy to clean, but it'll give me a lot more storage space. And yes, I do need more storage space. It's never ending, to be honest. Got to plan my attack because there's always stuff arriving. There's always jobs going on. Talking about storage space, yes, you probably saw that you'll have seen the thumbnail under the carport. We got all the concreting finished, the 2 concrete plinths, which we did nice and level. And that lasted about 3 or 4 days. It was brilliant. It was such a nice space under there, having all that room. And the plan of attack is to have a big, I won't say a workbench. It probably will be a workbench in the end, but some kind of fixed workbench, probably hinged on chains, so that it can be folded up. But when it's down, I can use it to store all the ROV parts, all the plastics, all the seats, all that kind of stuff, because I don't like putting them in the trays. They get wet when they're outside, and it's just a bit more organized if it's all put on there. And there'll be enough space probably for three lots of ROV panels and seats and things, hopefully, at least 2, so that I can just try and be a bit better at what I do, a bit more streamlined. Now then. Al Elish. Good morning, Al. Hey, Andy. Sorry I'm late. Don't worry about that. Was out walking the dog. Yeah, right. I know what you're up to. Laz Gyro Rider. Greetings from, oh my God, Alon. I can't even pronounce that. Visa Lonkini. I don't know. That's near enough. Is that Greece? I think it's Greece. Well, good morning, Laz. Welcome aboard, mate. Lots of TDR 250s in Greece and TW 200s. Look after them. Actually, Derek, I soften old and very hard CB750 cabinet rubbers with Refos 50. Forget winter green, etc. My stuff comes from the rubber processing industry. Wow. It was a possibility, but to be honest, they were pretty worn around the ceiling area. They were pretty munted. So it was time for a new set, especially with us doing a carb balance as well at some point in the future. They needed to be replaced. I can still get them genuine. Now's the time to get them while you still can. We've got them. They're coming. And that bike, it'll look better for it and it'll work better for it. But you're right, you can soften them up. And maybe we'll get some of that Refos 50 if we can over in New Zealand. And we can do a video on softening up old carb rubbers. We can use the old ones. That'd be good. Purple Monkey, 1974. Many thumbs up. Good job, mate. Ashley Derrick, the Frey Bentos was a joke. £1 in UK pound shops. Holy shit, really? What was in it? It sure as hell wasn't meat. Simon Raw, do you get sweet mince pies in New Zealand? For Christmas, the mince pies that you put the cream and stuff on. Yes, you can get those. And yes, I do get those. And yes, I lavish them with single cream. One of my treats. I do like them. They're very nice. Okay, comments are caught up, which means they'll auto scroll again. Slurp of coffee. Let's see what Mr. Silvers sent us. We have the knife. It's got a relatively new blade in it, so there might be some blood. Okay, let's get you on the other tripod. Hang on, bear with me. I'm turning you around. Dum 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 dum. This tripod has been used for every single video that I've made. It's a bloody good tripod. It really is. Right. Set you up over here. Dum 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 dum. Don't drop it off the bench, Andy. Right. Okay. Okay, you're going to move tripods. Look at that. So professional. Right. Not really. Okay, here we go. I'll come to that in a minute. And yes, I've covered up my address. God, for once. Mr. Silver. My first introduction to David Silver was when I bought a fuel tank. Brand new fuel tank. Oh, pie's ready. For my CM 200 twin. Painted with the decals on and everything, and it was £25. And I think it was £10 each for the side panels, the matching side panels. So we went and got those as well. Oh, we'll just get rid of that. Oh, jeez. Okay, what have we got? We've got some newspaper from England. Oh my word, what are the scents? Hopefully it's not the Sun page 3, if they still do Sun page 3s. Oh, you can buy yourself a nice shiny Suzuki in the UK, look. Look at that. Scotty keeps it alive, just. Reading wins final race to ensure title fight goes to the final round. Well, good job, Reading. Oh my word. Right. What date was it? Is there a date on it? 10th of October. No, sorry, page 10. 7th of October, 2020. The motorcycle news. I used to get that. Right. Okay, we have... Ooh, there's going to be a servicing video, look. Oil filter and O-rings. Got that. Part number there if you need one. Genuine Honda. I went for some rear foot peg rubbers because one of them was badly burnt. We've got those. They're the same both sides. There's the part number for that. I'm working off camera. I'm working so I can't actually see the screen now. In fact, oh, jeez. Just turn that one around. There we are. That's better. Right. There we go. We'll open that in a second. We've got new front brake hoses. So yes, Andy's got to rebleed the front brakes again. I think for the 4th time. Yeah, got a pair of those. So we've got both of those, which is great because I noticed they were really badly corroded on the crimps and a bit perished. We've got, I think that's an airbox rubber. It is. It's an airbox rubber. Got one of those. Don't know what's in there. We've got a new clutch cable, which is aftermarket. There's their part number. Couldn't get a new one. Or it was ridiculously expensive, so we've gone for an aftermarket one of those. Get rid of the box. Now, what's in here? I don't know. Let's be careful about opening it up. What did we buy that needs cardboard? Is it a gasket? Oh, it is. Right. That's for the electronic, sorry, where the points used to be, that chrome cover. And the bottom screw has lost its thread, so I've got to come up with an ingenious plan for that. But also, it was missing its sealing ring. So with it having that new electronic ignition in there, I thought it'd be a good idea to seal it up properly at the same time. So we've got that. Sticking back on his cardboard so we don't bend that. Now, what's in here? I don't know. There should be a few more bits, I must admit. Holy moly. Wow! Look at this lot. Ah, yes. One of the, I think it's a Speedo, is missing its little bulb that goes at the back. So we've got a couple of new bulb holders. Well, we've got the rubbers at least. I was expecting some metal stuff in there, but anyway. Okay, we've got the bulb holders. We've got, these are the rubber grommets for the side panels, because they're all pretty shot. So we've got some new rubber grommets for those. So I think they are. Pretty sure they are. Right, got those. Oh yes, that was missing off the front mud guard for the Speedo cable. Got one of those. Got the black rather than the white one. We've got, now these, sorry, it's just a bag to you guys, isn't it? Hang on. Bear with me. These are the little clamps, I think, that join, I could be wrong, hang on, bear with me. Yes, these are the little clamps that join, there's a balance pipe between the silencers on either side of the bike. Just a very short one. In fact, I can show you. Let's go have a look. I'll take you for a wander, because the bike's here, why not show you? So at the moment, it's got these chrome hose clamps in there, and it should be that with a rubber. So there should be some rubbers in that bag as well. So we've got the right piece now and get rid of these bits. Obviously I'll reuse those or something, but they're not genuine, they're not correct. So these are the correct bits. And of course there's no seal on those, so they tend to leak a little bit. Right, so sticky back in there. So we've got those. Stick those over there. What else have we got? I have no idea what this is. Ah, yes, for the front brake lever. That was missing. Very important to have one of those on there. It's just these little final touches that make them look good. Right, yes, those are the rubber sealing rings for those exhausts. So we've got 2 of those. There should be on, and 2 clamps. What the hell is this? Ah, yes, for the master cylinder where the banjo comes off. Again, that was missing. A nice new one of those. Genuine Honda. Make it look nice and tidy. Finished correctly. That's the important thing. Sticking back in there, look, if we can. More rubber stuff. What's this one? I always like opening up new stuff. It's always good. Ah, okay, that's for the clutch lever then, or vice versa. We've got 2 of those. 1 for each lever. That one looks a little bit different to the other one. No doubt I'll fit them the wrong way around. We've got bolts. I think these... Ah, these are for the oil tank. Didn't have the correct bolts. These are... You can see that in there, look. These are a stepped bolt. Come on, Andy, show the people, show the people. These are a stepped bolt, so it doesn't over-crush the new rubbers that we've got for the oil tank. So we've got those. Let's not lose that out of there. We've got some new banjo bolts for the new brake lines. Got those. Sump plug washer. Need one of those. I believe that's a sump plug washer. I'm sure it is. 2 new bulbs for the headlights, for the speedo and rev counter. I know I could have got the bulbs from New Zealand, but what the hell? Genuine Honda bulbs. Who buys genuine Honda bulbs? Well, looks like Andy does. Oh, yes! Alan said to me, and he was sort of almost fixated on this, that the odometer on the speedo was missing its little knob. Well, I spotted it on the list. They do genuine original replacements. So rather than making one on the lathe, which was the original plan, we actually have the correct part. There should be a little grub screw to go in there. Is it you need? No. So I might either I've ordered the grub screw or I'll have to source one. But the important thing is we've got what we need. Again, little tiny final touches make all the difference, and it wasn't expensive. Now these, I know what these are. These are the official bolts for the lower triple clamps. I'm going to show you. Hang on. Bear with me. Bear with me. So the lower clamp for the forks. Now this... Oh, the reason why it's got a cover on is we've been spraying, so not good. So that one there looks original. Same size. This one, it may well have failed on the threads. I don't know yet. I haven't taken it... Well, I have taken it out, but not inspected the threads. So... if it's still original thread, then we can pop in the correct bolt. But because it's different, 2 possibilities. Either somebody's lost the right bolt or they've had to tap it out larger, which is a bad thing, to be honest, because that's in New Zealand, that would be classed as a modification to a steering component and would be a cert fail. Jeez, it never ends, does it? But you can see the condition of the brake lines. Can you see up there? I did clean them up, but they are really rusty, unfortunately. So, but rusty around. Hang on, can we get around here? Look, you can't really see very well, but the actual crimp on there is really rusty, and the actual hose itself is. You can see some cracks. Hang on. There's. Sorry, people. Sorry. You can see some cracks down there, like on the hose. So that's why we're replacing those. Oh, it never ends. So again, there'll have to be a massive... Hang on. What a plonker. There'll have to be a massive session finishing off the CB750. But we can do one video putting all these little bits and pieces on, I suppose, can't we? Should be quite easy. Right, got those. What's left? What's this? What's this? I think this is a new sump plug bolt, actually. Yes, look at that. He even bought a new sump plug bolt. Spent lots of Alan's money. But he's happy about it. Right. Oh, what's that? What's that? 91256 096 651 P for Percy. One of. What the hell is that? I don't know what that is. Oh, yes I do. It's for the rev counter. It's a seal for the rev counter because it's all gummed up with crap. It's obviously been leaking and somebody's put some like gooey gaskety stuff around it. So hopefully that'll fix that one as well. Yes. Oh my word. Lots and lots and lots of stuff. Right. Pie time. Pie's ready. Holy moly. So we'll get the pie. And we'll come back to that silver box in a minute, our grey box in a minute. Here we go. Dum 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 dum. Come on, pie. Look at that. Okay, we'll pop Mr. Pie down there, look. We'll get normal tripod fired up. Right, crew, spinning you around. And I am going to plug you back in again. Just bear with me. There we go. 84%. It's not bad, is it? Not bad. I had to keep your phone nice and charged. Okay, so lots and lots of David Silver parts turned up, which is great. Thank you very much, David Silver, for all your help getting those organised. There was no discounting. They're not a sponsor. Alan had to pay for all of it. But saying that, they did a fantastic job. All I ask is good service. Probably took about 3 weeks to get here, maybe 4 weeks to get here, all up. Very surprised how much stuff was still available. Very pleased. And decided to, now is the time to get all the little bits and pieces ordered. So we've got those. Holy moly! Some big ass comments down here, people. Simon Roll, you may have it lucky and got the Sunday Sport. I remember the Sunday Sport, yes, but I wasn't. UK Weekend Workshop. The problem with workshop space is no matter how much you have, you always need more. And when you have more space, you're always going to fill it. Absolutely. You can never win. You can't. It's just a constantly evolving cycle. And, I cleared out a few bikes from the workshop. And, it was nice. A bit of room to get around even when all the bikes are in. You weren't clambering over stuff. And then within a week, Ben's like, oh, yeah, got to move house. There's a lot of stuff to come down, including a couple of bikes, which I've still got to collect those bikes on Tuesday. I've actually got a really classic race bike to collect from Auckland. Can't show you on the camera because it's the brand that I can't show you, which is a real shame because this bike has got a lot of heritage to it. And there's a real story behind it where, well, I can tell you the story, actually. I can tell you the story. The bike was ridden by Matt. I won't give you his surname. Matt, about 25 years ago. And he won a number of the New Zealand racing, series here. Did extremely well on it. The engine was very highly tuned. And then, for some reason, I think he sold the bike to a guy who wanted the engine to go in a go-kart for go-kart racing. So the guy bought the bike, took the engine out, put it in a go-kart. He then won lots and lots of the go-kart racing series. And the frame just got put in a barn together with all the plastics and other bits and pieces. And then the two separated. The frame disappeared somewhere else. I think the guy still kept the engine, but all the other stuff disappeared. And only a few months ago did Matt find where the frame was. It was still there with all the bits and pieces. So he rang the guy with the engine that had done the go-kart race and said, look, mate, I really would like that engine back. And he negotiated a deal, got to buy the engine back, and then he managed to get hold of the frame. So all the bits and pieces to build the bike, and Matt does a fantastic, I'd love to show, in fact, I don't know when, but we will definitely be doing a video or a live stream from his workshop. He is a phenomenally good technician, a motorcycle engineer. Technician just doesn't swing it, to be honest. Motorcycle engineer, and he restores old classic race bikes, amongst other things. And he does a premium job doing it. Really nice lad. So when he asked me, hey Andy, you know, seeing you coming down to the South Island, would you mind bringing this bike down? I said, hey, you don't, no problem at all. It'd be a privilege to bring the bike down to you. So I've got that to collect. I've got 2 of Ben's bikes to pick up. I've got a lot of other stuff to put on the big trailer, and then I've got to bring that back down. Well, we won't be leaving Auckland until about 6 p.m. Get home probably about 11ish, and then I've got to unload the trailer the following morning early, pack up the ute, load the race bike onto the back of the ute because I'm not taking a trailer to the South Island, and then get to Wellington. We're on the ferry Thursday. I'm bringing Eloise down, by the way. We're on the ferry Thursday morning. Got to be in Christchurch Thursday night, and then I've got training to do all day Friday, and then Saturday we're driving to Queenstown. The rest of the itinerary you'll find out on Sunday morning, because there'll be a live stream, don't forget, from Queenstown. Woohoo! Right, we keep jumping away. Let me catch up with the comments, then we'll do the pie. Ashley Derrick, most aftermarket Honda inlet rubbers are absolute rubbish. Well, thank you for telling me. I'm pleased I bought genuine. And I made damn sure when I ordered them, I said they have to be genuine. So if they're not genuine, they're going back. Had a new Honda one analysed at Hull Uni, made of a special modified type of nitrile rubber. So basically not real rubber, but you know, a generic version of rubber. Dave C. When you do the oil filter change, make sure you have the washer that goes inside the filter housing against the spring. A lot of times those are missing. Good call. I'll get it ordered. Thank you. It's not in this kit, so I'll order that. Or is it in this kit? Hang on. It might be. I did see. Hang on. Bear with me. Where's all the stuff? No, I think it's there. Where's my knife? Jeez, be careful. Got to cut the washer. The washer or O-ring? The washer. Okay. All right. So we've got the oil filter. There we go. We've got a large O-ring, and we've got a small O-ring. So we've got those bits, but like you say, I'll have to go on the parts diagram and see what washer you're on about, and I'll probably just order one, to be honest, because if it's not there and I'm halfway through doing a video, that will be a pain in the ass, wouldn't it? Right, one more. Okay. UK Weekend Workshop. Very jealous of how big your workshop is. Believe it or not, it isn't that big. As I've had to downsize from 940 square feet, oh man, to a domestic garage and a couple of small storage sheds. Wow. That's, yeah, you had a great space there, mate. Good job. This workshop, believe it or not, it looks a lot bigger on camera, but it's only in length, going from memory now, 8.5 meters long. So it's a lot longer than a standard garage. And width-wise, it's just over 6 meters. So that's all I've got. That's all the space here. It might seem bigger on camera, but I have to keep it tidy. I have to keep it tidy, because otherwise it just doesn't work. There's no room for crap. Jeez, oh, so many comments. Ashley Derrick, David Silver wouldn't tell me what his inlet rubbers are made from, so voted with my feet. Fair enough. I first bought parts from him in 1986, CB404. I used to have one of those engines. Paid £100 for it. Be worth a lot more now. When he was trading in his spare time from his spare room. You got to start somewhere. Good job. Dave C. The inspection process over there sounds crazy. If it's done properly, it is crazy. In my area, they check the various lights and turn signals, the horn, and a quick visual inspection of disc brake pads, and that's it. Now, it's a much more rigorous inspection when you're going through compliance here. John Nuttall, no new horn. I have a new horn in the drawer. It's not the original Honda horn. It's just a little black 12-volt horn. It'll be fine. Or speedo bracket to bottom fork clamp bolt. Interesting. I'll check that out. If the horn works and it's just the chrome that's gone, I will email you a link to get a new chrome part. Okay. Thanks, John. Roger Heaps sent picture on Messenger, view from your room. Oh my word. I do have a few rooms around New Zealand. It's pretty good, actually. Very accommodating friends. Here we go. Can we get into it? My phone's been playing up on Messenger. Oh, nice. Look at that. He's even mowed the grass for me. What a bloke. Good job, Roger. That's nice. Very relaxing. A lot better than our garden. Our garden is just like well, it's all overgrown and it's full of dead vehicles and tractors and scrap metal and you name it. It's all out there. What else have we got? Nope, I'll cover those later. Okay, pie time. Holy moly, it's going to be getting cold. Right. Okay, so here is the pie. You've all been waiting. Sorry for the delay. Sorry. Okay, there you go. Look at that top. It's almost orange is the top. And it's got lots of greenery stuff on it that's now dark. But hey. So it's not the standard pie that I go for. It's not really the kind of pie that I was planning to cover on the survey, but we're running out of pie suppliers because of the lockdown problems. This is a meatball and bacon pie. I have no idea what to expect, but I like bacon. So we'll give it a go. Here we are. Well, it's a very different taste to what I'm used to in a pie. It's going to take a bit of getting used to. It's got a lot of sort of orangey stuff in there, which I think is some kind of spicy, saucy stuff. Can't taste the bacon yet. Come on, Wild Bean Cafe, you can do better. Oh, structure, by the way. The structure is brilliant. Wild Bean Cafe pies, usually, in general, are extremely good on structure. There's no fissures or cracks evident in that pie. And there wasn't any evident in the bit that I bit into as well, by the way. And look, you see, there's hardly any deflection when you put your thumb in the middle of the pie as well. It's actually quite stable. It's good. So far, this will be an excellent pie to eat whilst driving, should you decide to take the risk and do that. Obviously, I don't endorse eating pies whilst driving, but if you're going to do it, and I think you're breaking the law to do it in some countries, this will be quite a good pie. Actually, it's sort of, holding together really well. I mean, there's nothing, apart from a bit of pastry, there's nothing falling out. Contents are good. Okay, let me get organized for the scores. With every bite, I'm getting more and more used to it, because don't forget, I'm used to a steak and cheese, so that's what my taste buds were expecting. And they're going, holy crap, what's this? But it's not bad. It's not bad. And there is some cheese in there. Cheese is going to save the day as well. Look, bit of cheese up there. Tastes good, actually. I mean, it could never be a steak and cheese pie. It was never intended to be a steak and cheese pie. But what it is a meatball and bacon and cheese pie. And I think it does it very well. I do. I went for a meatball there. It tastes like a meatball. It's all right. So we've got to score this, you know, with a view of what it really is. We can't compare it to a steak and cheese, the flavoring. It's got to be scored on its own merits, and I think it does quite well for a meatball and bacon pie. Just want to find some more bacon before I give it a score for the taste. That was a near miss. It was quite, there was a bit of runniness at that point, but I just managed to catch it. It's pretty good. Very good. Okay, so flavour. It's not the kind of pie I would normally go for. Would I ever buy another one? Probably not, to be honest, because I like my steak and cheese. But I suppose if the pie cabinet's looking pretty empty when I get there, and there's a choice between this one and, dare I say it, maybe a chicken and mushroom, which I'm not a fan of, or some weird Mexican thing, or you know, Lord forbid, a vegan or vegetarian kind of pie, which I would never go, and I was hungry, then yes, I would buy one, because I know it's not bad. You know, it would do the trick. It would fill me up, which is the whole object of getting a pie. It's that instant, you know, hunger satisfaction kind of thing that you need. So, as regards a meatball and bacon pie, how does it score taste-wise? Bearing in mind I've never had a meatball and bacon pie before, but the taste isn't bad. I'm gonna give it an 8. I am. No. Should I give it an 8 or a 7? Could be better. Could be more bacon. I'll give it a 7. Right. Structure Foley Partners. Well, it's bloody good. I mean, there's nothing really going on at all with the structure. The structure being the pastry side of it. Is it falling apart? It isn't falling apart. It's doing exactly what a pie should do. It should get a 10. It's brilliant. It really is. There's no cracks. The lid's well glued down. It's integral. That's the important thing. Runnability test, 45 degrees at for 30 seconds. What do you think? Is anything going to fall out? It looks rock solid. Obviously, those meatballs are providing some pretty good stability to the contents. And it's all glued into place with the cheese. I mean, nothing's moving. I mean, you could even give it a little wobble. Nothing's going to fall out. It's really, really good. Runnability. We had one little mishap, didn't we? One little bit of sort of runny, cheesy stuff. So I'll give it a 9. We'll give it a 9. But I would feel very confident eating this whilst driving, should I decide to break the law. Meat quality. Well, it's only meatballs. Meatballs are made from meat that's, well, if it was good enough, it'd be a steak, wouldn't it, to be fair? So it's never going to be steak quality. Well, there you go, look. There's half a meatball. So it's never going to get a 10. You can't get meat quality meatballs. Certainly not in a pie. But they don't taste bad, and they're not full of gristle and bits and pieces, so I don't know. 6? Let's give them a 6. I mean, it is meatballs. It wouldn't be fair on the steak to give it any more than a 6. Pie to crust ratio. I think it's pretty good. And there's a lot of contents. Not a massive amount of pastry. It's still pliable on the inside, but it's still got some strength, man. It's really good. Yeah, there's quite a depth of pastry on the corners. I'll give it a 7. We'll give it a 7 for that. Availability logistics. Well, they're available only through the Wild Bean cafes, which are at the most BP stations here in New Zealand. There's a few which are called BP Goes or something, which are not full-blown cafes, and they sometimes have different brands of pie in there. But you have to go to a BP to get it. But normally, for me at least, I would only get a pie if I'm on the road. Oh, that's one repeat. Remember that. It's not bad. It's not bad. You can't get them from supermarkets and stuff. You've got to go to a BP, which I suppose makes you go and buy the petrol from there, which is a good thing. There's lots of BPs around. 7. I think a 7's fair. Pastry taste rating. Well, we've got a nice big chunk of pastry here. We've not a lot else on it, so we'll give that a go. Right, pastry only. There was a hint of sauce on it, unfortunately, but there's no weird aftertaste. It was crunchy, but still a little bit of gooiness from the inside of the pastry. It was all right. It was all right. It wasn't like, wow, pastry, you know. 8. Still tasty when cold, but it's not cold yet. It's still quite warm. Its thermal retention is brilliant, actually. Those meatballs are really keeping the heat in. Packaging design. Well, it's a Wild Bean Cafe paper bag. That's what it is. We've scored these a few times in the past. I can't remember what we gave them last time. So it's going to be a as of today kind of score. But there's the packaging. Fully recyclable as well, which I'll remember later on. I mean, realistically, it's sort of 10 minutes on Photoshop, isn't it, to knock that up? If that. Please dispose of bag thoughtfully and recycle where possible. So they've even taken the effort to put a little bit of wording on the back, probably for only me ever to read, but good job. Packaging. Not a tremendous amount of thought gone in, but it is a convenience food. They couldn't supply it in a, well, I suppose they could use boxes, but I mean, why bother? Because people are going to eat them pretty much straight away. So it's functional. It's specific to the task in hand. You know, it contains said pie for, and keeps it a little bit warmer until you get a chance to eat it. Normally I trough mine in the petrol station whilst waiting for my coffee. Can't do that at the moment. Not allowed to eat in the petrol station, so I've got to go and find a lay-by somewhere. But they do seem to keep it reasonably warm for maybe a 10-minute journey to find somewhere to stop. I don't know, 6. Let's give it a 6. We've seen a lot better. Recyclable score. Well, they've said, look, you know, dispose of possibly. They're missing the recyclable symbol. It's only paper. There's no plastic sort of lining to the bag, so they're only going to get a 9 for that. If they put the recyclable symbol on there, then they got a 10. Post pie heartburn. Well, we've already had 1 repeat so far, so it's lost a point for that. But we'll come to that once we finish the pie. Right, going in for some more. It's actually quite filling, I must admit. Look at that. That's not a bad pie. If you like meatballs, I must admit, the bacon is not particularly prominent in this pie, which is a bit of a shame, a bit of a letdown. There's a lot more meatball-y taste and orangey saucy stuff, some kind of Mexican maybe sauce on there. And the bacon it's there, but it's very much in the background. It's not, wow, bacon, you know? Okay. So I'm going to downgrade the score of the tastiness because it says it's a meatball and bacon pie. The bacon just isn't there. So we're going to drop it a point and give it a 6 for the taste. And it might drop further yet. I'm hoping to get a bit of bacon, a nice chunk of bacon, and it hasn't happened yet. Or if it has, it was very stealthy. Right, meatball on its own. That was just a meatball, and it was pretty average taste, to be honest. But the combination of flavors, actually pretty good. So, pie server attractiveness. This was a category put forward. The notion was put forward by Simon Raw, and many of the viewers decided this had to be included, and I agree. You know, I'm sort of torn between the yes and the no. sort of on the fence because it doesn't directly relate to the pie itself. It is location specific, but like Simon, you know, in his defense, he said, look, where you eat the pie, the environment, you know, this is why you go to nice pubs to drink your pint of ale, because you like the environment to consume said ale. And the same goes with the pie, and the same for restaurants and stuff. It isn't just about the food, it's about the ambiance, you know. So the pie server, in that case, a waitress, you know, if she looks nice, then that helps to, you know, fuel the experience. This was from Tiru. Now, Tiru is probably about an hour. It's about an hour and 5 minutes from here with the trailer on a good run. And well, I'm going to give her an 8. It's pretty good. I'm going to give her an 8. And she's always very welcoming. You know, especially ever since the old ponytail popped up, due to COVID, by the way, known as the COVID tail. When I walk into the petrol station, she now says, "Hey Andy, would you like a coffee?" And I mean, that's personal service, isn't it? You know, knowing your name. I think I'm quite a recognizable person now. You know, I obviously stick in her mind for whatever reason. So, you know, 8, I think, is highly justified. Could even go for a 9, to be fair, because not just from the visual element, but the welcoming, the made to feel that you're part of that little family at the petrol station. You know, a regular visitor, a regular customer, valued. But we'll stick with the 8. Now, let's go again before I dig too many holes, because I'm sure Mrs. Mechanic watches these videos. In fact, I know she does. Not all of them, but some of them. Oh, what's that? There's noises outside. Oh, she's doing something. She's got a trolley. That's pretty good. I mean, for what it is, it's pretty good. I do almost sense a bit of tomato, to be fair, in the sauce. I'm not a fan of tomatoes, not in pies. Plenty of meatballs though, give them that. Good contents. I am getting quite stuffed, I must admit. I'm slowing down on the consumption here. So the stuffability score is going to be pretty high. It's doing really, really well in many categories. Other than the flavour. I must admit, I'm not really a fan of meatball and bacon. And I say bacon, and the smallest amount of bacon is in there. It should be called a meatball with a little tiny speck of bacon pie. So a good pastry, good structure, very, very good on the runnability side of things. Stuffability, definitely don't want another one. Don't want anything else to eat, to be fair. I am pretty stuffed. It was quite filling. I'm going to give it a 9. I'm not overstuffed. I don't feel bloated, but we'll give it a 9. So it did its job. It satisfied the hunger, and that's what the pie's job's all about. Or one of its functions, should I say. Post-pie heartburn, too early to tell. We've had one repeat. There might be another one in a minute. We'll start with an 8. I don't know. I mean, end of the day, I've got to score it on what it is. It's doing fine at the moment. Any more burps? No. Give it an 8. 7. Pardon me. 7. Still tasty when cold. Well, it was getting cool as I got to the end of it. Definitely a 7. It definitely got less appealing as it cooled down, I must admit. Would I want to eat a cold one? No, not in the same way that I can eat a steak and cheese cold. I mean, I can leave a steak and cheese pie in the glove box for days. I nearly said a week, but I don't know. I don't think I've eaten one that's a week old yet, but certainly a few days. Pop it out of the glove box, boom, away you go. And yes, it's cold, but it's still tasty. Would that be the same? No, I don't think it would. Would I even contemplate eating it? No, I'd probably put it in the bin, to be honest, if I don't eat it straight away, which would be very rare occurrence. I'm going to give it a 3. I think it would taste quite disgusting cold, is my opinion. Sorry, Wild Bean Cafe, but I do. There are pros and cons of each flavour of pie that you produce. And that one, I got it in the bin. Pretty good. Right. Okay, let's work out some scores and see where we end up. You better not beat my... oh, hang on. Where's me Twizzly? Oh, Roger. Right, it's Twizzly round. There we go. Dum 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 dum. Hopefully you can see all the scores there. There we go. Right. So we've got 16, 25, 31, 38, 45, 53, 56, 62, 71, 78, 85, no, that's wrong, 78, 87, 95. Is that right? Jeez. I think so. Let me know if I'm wrong. It's not been the first time. Okay, right, sticky thing. Now, this one was a Wild Bean Cafe. Meatball and bacon. Yeah. Yeah, question mark. 95. Okay. Let's see where that ends up on the wall. I think it's a reasonably fair score, but it scored high, but not for the best reasons, to be fair. Okay. 95. We'll stick him up there next to South Main Auto for a second. Morning, Eric. Okay, 95. Gonna have to shuffle these up a little bit. Oh, jeez. $95. Not had a 95 yet. 96. Wild Bean Cafe, meatball and bacon. Not something I'd go for again, in all honesty. 95. Wow, look at that. So all those steak and cheese down there below it have scored less. That's actually quite sad and enlightening, to be fair. But yeah, so I mean, realistically, above that is Squires. It wasn't a bad pie. Lake Farm pie, steak and cheese, pretty good. Wild Bean Cafe classic, well, isn't bad at all. Mackenzie getting there. Lake Farm pepper steak, 99. Good job. The Baker's Son, that was a nice pie. And then Wild Bean Cafe still at the top of the leaderboard, 103. I think it's gonna be hard to beat. But I'll be at Toad Hall in a couple of weeks at Muchuika, and I reckon it might just pip the post. We'll have to see, won't we? Right, back to the bench. Dum. Cameras all over the place. Okay, so yes, seriously, I won't be getting another one of those. Despite the score, just not a fan of the flavour. I mean, the pie did really well, you know, on many of the categories. Its structure was fantastic, probably the best pie yet for structure and integrity. But that isn't the only thing. And I mean, the flavour's fundamental to wanting to go and buy that pie, isn't it, really? It's got to taste nice. It tasted okay. The bacon was seriously lacking, and I'm not really a fan of meatballs, so, you know, it is what it is. I'm sure other people might enjoy them. They obviously sell them for a reason. They wouldn't sell them if people didn't like them, but not really my cup of tea. Hang on. Simon, if it's one of my favourite bikes, it's yellow, black, and had microns. I don't know yet. I've got to go and find out. It's a bit of a surprise for me as well. Connor K, cheese is the adhesive that holds the pie together. The cheese was quite nice. I think if it hadn't had the cheese in it, I think I'd have really not liked it at all, to be honest. It needed more bacon. It had to have more bacon, bigger pieces of bacon, and not just like a boiled bacon. It needs to be a fried bacon and then cut up and put in the pie. That's how it needs to be done. Springy 2112 15414-300-3-000 is the Honda part number of the usually missing oil filter spring washer. Hang on, need a photo of that then. Jeez. Camera. No, I don't want a selfie. Thank you. Right, there we go. Look. Perfect. Thank you, Springy. Appreciate that. We've got that now. Right, and it normally sticks to the old filter and then gets thrown away. Copy that. Credit to Dave C for the reminder. They are really rarely present. Good job. Yeah, I could well have missed that. Simon, the wild beans in the UK are run by Marks and Spencer's. I like Marks and Spencer's. Marks and Spencer's caramel popcorn is the best on the planet as far as I'm concerned, if they still do it. You know it's going to be good quality. Marks and Spencer's do good gear, or they used to do, really good gear. And my grandmother used to buy me the popcorn. Really nice. I can't eat salted popcorn. It's disgusting as far as I'm concerned. It just makes you want to drink lots and cough in the movies. I mean, that's a bad idea for a start. But the caramel stuff, really nice. It's like glazed. It's really, really good. Anyway, we digress. Thanks, Simon. Mike Adams, sorry I'm late. Justin, seen you poured your concrete or concrete, as some people around here say, lol. Yeah, just in time. Yeah, it was a race against the clock. We had to plan ahead because we knew that that trail load was coming down. There's still a lot more stuff to come down, and we had to have some storage space. Ben has a shed down here. However, unfortunately, I've already filled the shed with my stuff, and it proved just an easier task for now to put all his gear there under the carport. And then when he comes down, eventually one day, we'll clear his shed out, and then he can take his time putting things in. It won't already be in the shed, so it made logistical sense as well. William Brody, hey Andy, from Minnesota, USA. Good morning, William. Welcome aboard, sir. We've got 27 viewers and 30 likes. That's what I like. Just out of interest, last week's live stream lost me 7 subscribers. I mean, seriously, what's going on? I don't know. I mean, overall, the channel still accrues probably between 35 and 45 subs a day, but it's a little bit disheartening. You know, if you are watching this and you do go to unsubscribe, would you do me a favor and maybe send me an email and tell me why you're unsubscribing, or put it in the comments, because I'm struggling to understand what's going on. John, you have email RE Clamp and Horn. Oh, thanks, John. I will check that out shortly. Very shortly, in fact. Dum, 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 dum. There we go. Don't need the camera anymore. Just the heaps. Geez, all going on this morning. It's like a little communication hub. There we are, John. Right. You can only buy the 2 as I've asked, but that's fine. You can sell. You can sell me 1. The Speedo Chrome bracket is like one for the fork clamp bolt. Oh, he's like the one for the fork clamp bolt. Okay, cool. So obviously that must be missing then. Okay. Okay. Right. I'll open those later on, because it's not fun for the viewers at the moment. Is that for me opening emails and looking down at my phone all the time? Simon, I vote to change the Pi server attractiveness. To the I'm a Pi test. To the I'm a Pi test. Yes or no? Comment below, crew. I'm a Pi test. I don't even get that. I vote to change the Pi server attractiveness to the I'm a Pi test. pie test. There's obviously a play on words there that I'm not getting. Sorry, Simon. You'll have to explain it in layman's terms for me. Mike's Automotive Diagnostics. Do you eat Scotch eggs? Well, I do. You can get them here, but I think New World Supermarket do them in their deli. Scotch eggs. I do eat them from time to time, very rarely. More in the summer than the winter. Sometimes with a salad, that kind of stuff. Not that I eat salads around. I do like a chicken Caesar salad with bacon, and I could probably cram a Scotch egg in there. Mike Adams, I've noticed that in some of those meat pies or hot pockets, like we have here, you can tell by texture whether the cheese is real or cheap faked cheese. Yeah, I think over in the States they use a lot of fake cheese, don't they, in their pies and stuff, or that kind of food, the fast food stuff. The cheese in the Lake Farm pies was definitely proper cheese. I would suggest that probably even in the Wild Bean Cafe pies, it's probably processed cheese. You know, it's probably some kind of fake cheese. But it does taste good. They've obviously got the taste just right to make you want to go back for more. Bloody hell, I've caught up with the comments. So we've still got a grey box to look at. Now you may be wondering, what on earth has Andy got a grey box for? Well, there's a story behind it. Bear with me, I'll just go and get it. It's quite large. In actual fact, geez, it's a lot larger than I thought it was. It's about twice the size to what I originally planned, but that's not a problem. This is all the way from the grand US of A. Those who are viewing from the States will no doubt recognize this. It's, like I say, it's quite big. It's a 3-phase circuit breaker box kind of thing, and this one was for boiler number 2, which I thought was really cool. And you can open it, but you've got to turn it off first. So it's currently connected. It's now disconnected, and we can open the latch, and it's for 3-phase. Doesn't matter because it's got 3 contacts. That's all that matters to me. And the plan of attack, jeez, we'll lock it up. We'll turn it back on again. There we go. The plan of attack is, it's all to do with that, there we are, look, stick it there. It's all to do with that red light that's going to go on the outside of the workshop to indicate when I'm filming. So that Mrs. Mechanic knows to keep quiet, because I've had to do a few retakes in the past. Not that it's a problem having a voice on the videos, it's not, but I lose my train of thought because she goes, lunchtime. I'm like, ooh, lunch. You know, and then that clip gets, I don't know, aborted maybe? Maybe I should stick it in. Or sometimes somebody will turn up wanting me to collect something, and that's annoying. You know, anyway, such is life. We've got a comment from Sheldon. Good morning, Sheldon. I was going to give you a shout out today, Sheldon, and you've reminded me. So, before we go on to this any further, whilst we're here, and Sheldon's just done the comment, and I know he's watching, I would like to put a massive shout out to Sheldon and Jamie from Oamaru. They run a motorcycle dealer, relatively new motorcycle dealership in Oamaru. They were both new to the motorcycle industry, but long time in the automotive industry, and they are both doing a fantastic job, working extremely hard, understaffed, need good staff, need more staff, but doing a wonderful job. But not only that, but both Jamie and Sheldon are pie connoisseurs. They are. Whenever I go down to see them, we always sit down. It doesn't matter what day it is. I think I'm going to go and see them on a Friday next. But we sit down and we have a pie. And, you know, I do comment on the pie while I'm eating it. But they jump straight in, and we speak the same language when it comes to pies. And there's some serious banter going on between us, but very technical banter about the pie. And, you know, it makes me feel so much at home. I do like it down there. They've got a wonderful workshop, big old school building, big oak beams and stuff in there. It's a very welcoming place for me. I like it down there. So good morning, Sheldon. Good morning, Jamie. I'll see you soon. Anyway, going back to the big metal box, I wanted some kind of a switch in the workshop, obviously, to turn the light on and off. No problem, Sheldon. But I also wanted to have something in the workshop to indicate when the light is on or off, to remind me to turn it off when I'm not filming. So I'm going to mount in the door, somewhere around here probably, if there's space, or down the bottom, I don't know where it'll be, but there'll be some kind of red indicator light, which will be wired into circuit. And I'll wire it all up. Obviously, I'll earth the box, that kind of be safe, you know, and use one of those contacts for the positive, and probably one for the negative. I might double switch it, I don't know yet. But I think it'll make a really good kind of aesthetically pleasing part of the video, where I know obviously, you know, I'm going to be already filming, but I can do the intro and then I can say, right, we'll put the red light on. We're filming now, kalunk, on goes the light, so we don't get disturbed, that kind of thing. So that was my idea. I think it's going to work really good. It's going to be another part to that, another little tiny insert into the video, and a good little segue from my initial talky bit to actually getting on with the job. So yeah, call me dumb, call me daft, call me crazy, I don't know. I get called all sorts of things. That's going to happen. It won't happen until I get back from the South Island, obviously, but the parts, the components are slowly coming together. John Nuttall, have you tried 4 and 20 pies made there in New Zealand? No, I think, John, you sent me a video. Somebody sent me the 4 and 20 pies video. I watched that. Very funny. Good job. Not yet. It's on the list. No doubt we'll get there at some point. There's lots and lots of pies here in New Zealand, so it's going to take me years to get through them all, I think. William Brody, Square D is a great brand here in the US that made my choice of brands. Square D. What does Square D make? Is that a brand of pie, or is that a brand of tools, or a brand of something else? I don't know. Never heard of it. Mike's Automotive Diagnostics. No practical reason for a double switch. Oh no, I know. There's no practical reason, but what the hell? Mike Adams. Got to turn your shop into a red light district. No. Mike's Automotive. Do you run 240 volt there? Yes, it's 240 volt or 220 volt or something around that sort of nature. It does fluctuate quite a bit. We're actually based very, very close to, here's a clue for you, very close to a hydroelectric dam. There's lots of hydroelectric dams in New Zealand, so it doesn't narrow it down that much. But the voltage is quite high. It's quite up there. It's maybe even 250, I don't know, but it's way up there. There's a good voltage supply. So where are we at? 1 hour and 38 minutes. Man, that has flown by today. Absolutely flown by. And there was me thinking this morning, what are we going to talk about? But you guys have filled in all the gaps again, as always. Thank you very much. Look at your switch brand. Ah, okay. Square D is a brand. Okay, so who makes it? It's actually got, duh. There you go, look. It's a Square D brand. God, I am dumb sometimes. Okay, good job. Heavy duty safety switch. Well, the more safety I can add to my workshop, the better, because I do struggle sometimes. Thanks, William, and apologies for not noticing the brand Square D on the box. I think it's a cool box. I tried to get something local in New Zealand, obviously an old second-hand one, looked on Trade Me, and there just didn't seem to be anything. It seems that any old electrical installations that get ripped out, the stuff just gets scrapped. Nobody's selling the stuff. There's a few little bits and pieces, but nothing really that had that circuit breaker element to it, where it has a spring-loaded switch inside to minimize arcing and preserve the contacts. Didn't have it. This, out of the States, it was like 40 New Zealand dollars. It was cheap as chips. Freight was a bit more, obviously. But, you know, something that's got a bit of history to it, all the way from the States, here in the workshop. Can't go wrong. I'm sure the electrician, when he turns up to rewire and make everything right for me, at some point, when he puts the new power feed in, will look at that and go, no, you can't use that. But, you know, what the hell? It'll stay. It's my workshop. Mike's Automotive Diagnostics. Square D makes great switches and motor controllers. Cool. It's good quality as well. Jishan Moodley. Hi. Good morning, Jishan. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Connor K, that Square D box is aesthetically pleasing as well as your red merchant vessel deck light. Thank you. I did have a little bit of a, you know, you gave me some inspiration there, Connor. Ashley Derrick, Square D in the UK now, part of the Schneider Electric as a mechanique. Good quality stuff though. Well, excellent. Looks like I made a good purchase. And you can they've even put a little bit on the bottom where you can put a padlock, so you can stop. So I could hide secret special stuff in there and put a padlock on it, and Mrs. Mechanic couldn't get in. That could be pretty cool. Not that I have to hide anything from her, obviously. Dave, oh geez, did he put it in the coffee? I did put. Oh, it's only ash. Dave 123. Maybe my comments aren't showing up on your screen. Oh, I made 2 brilliant comments in the last couple of minutes that you didn't see. Really? Hang on, Dave. Scroll back. Dave. Oh, hang on. There we are. Sorry, Dave. Going back to your first comment. Maybe those 7 people didn't realise they were already subscribed. They hit the button and accidentally unsubscribed. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Thanks, Dave. You missed my last comment. Andy, I'm unsubscribing. Kidding, of course. I wouldn't unsubscribe for something like that. Thank you, Dave. I am confused. I don't quite know what's going on. My sincere apologies for missing your comments. It does happen now and again. I do try to read them all out. Jishan. It's Jishan again, the boy that needed help with the 110cc bike. Ah, okay. I got a problem with my 250 quad now. Okay, what's your problem? Let's see if we can fix it for you. Jishan, I need your help. That's fine, you can have my help. Mike's Automotive Diagnostics. I'm pretty new to your videos. Do you do scope diag on your bikes? Yes, I use the scope from time to time. I don't use it all the time. And the majority of times that I use the scope, and there are quite a few picoscope videos on the channel. There's even a playlist under picoscope. However, the majority of times that I use the scope is on a particular brand of motorcycle that can't appear on the channel. Now, that doesn't mean to say I don't make videos of doing the diagnostics. I often do, and those videos do get edited and they do get put on the channel as an unlisted video. And at some point in the future, when circumstances change, and I mean, to be fair, hopefully this is going to be quite a long way ahead because I do like the job that I have. But at some point in the future, those videos will then start to get released. And there's about 100 of them. There's about 100, they're not all scope videos, but there's about 100 unlisted videos on the channel at the moment. And they'll those numbers will continue to build until such time as I can start to release them. But there are very strict guidelines as to what I can and can't publish currently on my YouTube channel, which have been agreed. I was going to say imposed, but that's a bit strong. It's been agreed with my employer, and that was done at the time that we started my current contract. And I'm not prepared to jeopardize that. So they are there, but they're there for the future. Purple Monkey, 1974. Peeps. Unsubbing because of lack of Tool Girls. Maybe. We did get a massive increase in subs a few years ago when Tool Girl Hannah got her new shirt. I think we got like 10,000 subs in 1 month, which was just unbelievable. And yes, there may well be some shedding of those subs now because they're not seeing Tool Girl videos hitting the channel on a regular basis. But hey, all good things come to those that wait. and Tool Girl Holly will be at some point when travel restrictions are lifted. She is coming back to the workshop and we will be making more videos. We've got the DR200 to finish and she'll be doing lots of other stuff in the future as well. So it is going to happen, but it unfortunately just can't happen at the moment. And that moment seems to be getting pushed further and further back because of the whole COVID outbreak at the moment. So plans keep changing and I do apologise, but there's nothing I can do about it. Mike's Automotive Diagnostics. I'm pretty new to scope use, but have used it on small engines. Well, Mike, I'm not an expert on using an oscilloscope by any means. I can use one, and I've used one many times, and obviously with the more use, the better you get. And I've used it successfully in diagnosing a number of problems over the years. Quite a few problems over the years, to be fair. My motto is that nothing hides from a scope. It's a really, really useful piece of kit. And it also is a very good piece of kit to explain how things work from an electronic perspective, from a signal perspective. A lot of technicians here in New Zealand are sort of borderline electrical savvy, and they do struggle enormously with fuel injection system diagnostics, mainly because they just don't really understand how the systems are working. And now that we've got CAN on bikes as well, that's a whole new level of complexity to them, where they're looking at communication lines, and to them they're just two wires. They can't see what's going on those wires. They can't check the can high against can low to see if it's a mirror image, to see if there's any kind of issues potentially going on. I did a diagnostic down in Dunedin using the scope. I was there for the whole day. I won't tell you the brand, but it had a key fob as opposed to a mechanical key, and we put the scope on that, and we were able to scope, to capture can high, can low, and from what we could see on there, there was definitely a communication problem, and we then successfully fixed the problem, and the bike went back to the customer, and it's been fine ever since. It was to do with one particular module, which was the communication module, believe it or not, which is the one that talks to the key fob. That one had basically, the guy had lost the key fob, or yes, he'd lost the key fob. They got another one. They couldn't get it to work. They swapped some of the components, but they could get it to work with the old communication module, but not with the new one, which is really weird. Anyway, there was lots of investigation work went in, and we found out some more information from the factory, and it was a great learning curve for everybody involved, not just myself and the technician I was working with, but further up the food chain as well, because we don't often get all the information from the factory. Sometimes we've got to learn it ourselves, and the information we gathered from that day is going to be very valuable in diagnosing similar problems in the future on that particular model and similar models that have that key fob system. So yes, an oscilloscope is a very, very useful piece of kit, and I would say an absolute necessity when trying to diagnose problems like that. Oh, hang on. Jishin. Okay. My is not starting. I think my quad is not starting, but when I put a metal part on the solenoid, yes, so you're going to jump the solenoid like you're stealing the bike starts. What do you think if the key and how to test it? Okay, well, if you're having to jump the solenoid is just a relay, basically. Oh, thank you, Mike. Cheers, matey. Keep it up. Good job. Thank you very much. Not had a super chat for many, many months. Appreciate that. Basically, a starter solenoid is just a relay, and you've got a trigger circuit and you've got the load side circuit. The load side circuit is the two big bolts, and that's what you're jumping across. You need on the trigger circuit, you're going to have a power feed and you're going to have a ground, so you can check that. Quite often the starter button will put the circuit to ground, so you should have a permanent live on one side of the trigger circuit, but it does depend on how the bike's wired up, and without a circuit diagram it's hard to tell. But one side most likely will be permanent live. On the trigger, so if the trigger side of the circuit's working and the solenoid's going click, 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 but the bike isn't starting, then most likely the actual buzz bar, the bit inside that makes the contact between the two bolts that stick out, that's become corroded or burnt and it's not making proper contact. And all you're doing is bypassing that by putting a spanner across the two bolts. What I would suggest that you do, if you've got a multimeter, you can test it. And there's a couple of videos on my channel that cover starter solenoids as part of an overall diagnostic. So you can watch those. But most likely you'll end up replacing the starter solenoid. It won't be the brushes and the starter because you'd have the same problem of it not starting, not cranking, even though you put the spanner across the two bolts. So I think you've probably got a problem with your solenoid, or it could be a problem with the starter button, or there may be no power feed to it either. So, you know, some basic checks and I'm pretty sure you'll work it out. It's not a difficult diagnostic. Oh my word. Scrolling back. Oh God, scrolling back. Mike Adams, Andy, we're not 20 years old anymore. If you're like me, back then, multitasking was a struggle, as it was. Now, at almost 50, snap, almost 50 now, I sometimes seem to struggle with concentrating on one. Yeah, I know the feeling, mate, I do. Connor K, I bet that people who unsubscribe are ones who recently subscribed because of the project videos. Good call. Maybe they aren't interested in live streams. Your loyal crew will always be here. And this morning, thank you, Connor. This morning was a perfect example of that. Whereas each comment that first came through on this live stream was from those regular viewers, and I appreciate that. It's like your mates coming into your workshop. That's how I see it. And we have a bit of a natter. We talk about stuff. You know, we get some newbies come along and ask questions about bits and pieces, and you all jump in and help out where necessary. And that's great. It's a collaboration. And I think, you know, it's one tiny little thing that's come out of the whole lockdown stuff here in New Zealand is the fact that we do live streams every week. I had no idea it was going to go on for as long as this. I'm very happy continuing. I don't see a problem. And hey, if a few subscribers decide to go and, you know, unsubscribe, then, you know, that's their choice. It doesn't really bother me too much, to be honest. Simon, got an interesting waveform today. Secondary ignition on the DT175. There is a lot of turbulence in the burn time. I don't know if it's because it's a two-stroke or the timing is off. Couldn't help you, Simon, to be honest. I don't know. Further investigation required. It would be nice to see a have you got another two-stroke engine? You know, it'd be nice to see it do a comparison of a similar bike to see how that one looks. Mike's Automotive Diagnostics. Can Diag was an eye-opener to me with the scope. I recommend the U scope to any beginners. Good call. Thank you again, Mike, for that super chat. I do appreciate it. Jim Haynes, finally here, running late, but I did hit the like button. Good man, thank you very much. And welcome, Jim, to my workshop. And, ooh, yes, hang on. Let's have a, seeing as Jim's here now, let's have a little wander. Because I spotted something yesterday, which I think, yes, there we are. Look. Jim sent these across a while ago. And these were undoing plastic clips and stuff. And in fairness, Jim, I haven't used them yet, but I will. This is my favourite tool. Looking forward to using this. You can change the angle of the head on it just by pressing the little button in. There you are, look. You see you change the head angle? There you are. Brilliant. Very, very cool. And lots of little spare clips and bits and pieces as well, which no doubt will come in handy. So thank you again, Jim. They aren't forgotten. They are safe. They're going to end up with their own little drawer at some point. Whereas at the moment it's in with some other stuff. It keeps getting moved around. And over here. Oh! New wheels on the roll cab. Allowing me to move the roll cab out straight from the wall and not fight it because two of the wheels was fixed. Where is it? Where is it? Where are they? There, look. There's your ratchets, and the other one lives at the top here, look, at the back. And yes, I have used these a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. So, pride and place, top of the toolbox. Tools everywhere, honestly. Oh, one more thing. The TIG turned up. This is Ben's TIG. Now, I haven't used this yet, but now that it's here, I might. Ben's used it a fair bit. He loves it. And this is the spec on it. So if you've got any TIG comments, now's a good time. I say I've not done any TIG work before, but Ben's still learning. And he bought this probably 3 or 4 years ago now. But he says it's bloody good. It wasn't cheap, but it was second hand when he bought it. But it hasn't got a bottle at the moment because he's running things cheap. Doesn't need a bottle. Doesn't use it at the moment. Look, sticker. Put the sticker on yesterday. Right. I think we're close to rounding this up because I've got stuff to do, people. Are we still on? We are on. Right, hang on. Scrolling down. Dave, 1, 2, 3. Solenoids are cheap. They are cheap, but it'd be good to test it first, though. You know, other people would just throw a new solenoid on, and chances are it would fix the problem, but it might not be the problem, and then you've still got to diagnose the fault. So there's some pretty simple checks that you can do. You could even trigger the solenoid manually, so you could unplug it from the loom on the 2 small wires and just put 12 volts. Doesn't matter which way around it is. Just put 12. Well, it shouldn't do, unless there's other stuff on there. If it's got a fuse on it, then it might be feeding the loom on some brands. But anyway, put 12 volts across it, and if it triggers and the bike cranks over, then you know you've got a trigger circuit fault further upstream. You could do a resistance check on it as well, see if the winding's burnt out. Mike's Automotive Diagnostics. I'm thinking about getting into doing YouTube videos. Good man. How did you get started? Ooh, okay, well, a brief summary is I was teaching at Unitec, and I was out at the pub one night speaking to one of the students, and he made quite a good income, you know, basically enough to survive as a student through, and it was a bit naughty really. He downloaded videos from YouTube and then did a voiceover in his own language, and I think it was Arabic or something, and then uploaded them again on his channel, and he did really well out of it. And he said, "You should do a YouTube channel, Mr. You know, sir," he used to call me, and do it on fixing cars and motorbikes and stuff. And I was like, and we had watched a few videos during the lectures, some of the Eric the Car Guy videos and stuff, which we thought was really good, but it was still very early on in the whole YouTube thing. But the students really enjoyed them. It was a different way of learning, and we used to, you know, spot errors and bits and pieces in the videos and talk about them as well. And then we started to do what we call flipped classroom, where basically the students would be set some work the night before on what they're going to be doing during the day, the following day in the workshop, and doing videos on particular tasks. For example, let's say stripping down an alternator. I could do a video stripping down an alternator, which I did, and doing all the tests. Been a very popular video. They could watch that the day before we actually do that particular job in the workshop, where they do all their own testing. And it meant that when they came in the morning, I didn't have to give any kind of briefing. There was no show and tell. I didn't have to do one in front of them. They just basically got their phone out, started to play the video again, because I'd already watched it the night before, most of them. And then when it came to each of the tests, they would watch how I did that particular test, and then they'd replicate it and write down the results, and then they'd do the next bit. And it meant, from a lecturer perspective, my entire time, and usually we had like 3 hours in the workshop, those entire 3 hours were spent addressing concerns that the students had or problems that they were experiencing, rather than actually trying to just deliver the basic content. That was done by the video, and it worked really, really well. But unfortunately, Unitec weren't prepared to provide any kind of funding to, you know, I mean, I was using my phone as a camera. I was using some really crappy free video editing software. They wouldn't give me any storage on the Unitec servers for the videos. And so that's why I started to use the YouTube platform for it. And then I thought, well, hang on, I'm even making these videos on my own time over the weekend at home, ready for the next week. And my plan was to make videos on every aspect of workshop tasks that we did throughout the whole year course. So there was going to be a lot of videos, and they took up a lot of storage space, but they wouldn't support it. So I said, well, you know, since I'm doing it in my own time, I'll start my own YouTube channel, and those videos will be mine. And yes, we can still use them in class, but the property will be mine. And they couldn't really argue with that, because I'd provided all the stuff, you know, all the equipment to do the work, and I was providing the time, and it was done off site. So, you know, it had nothing to do with them really. And that's how we went. And all of a sudden the videos started to be watched by a lot more people than just the students. And well, 6 years later, here we are. It's quite a few videos. And I do it in my own workshop, and I love it. It's great fun. I just wish I had more time. So hopefully that's answered your question for you. But, you know, I would strongly recommend giving it a go. There's nothing to be lost. And, you know, if you make a mistake, just film it again. Most of the time you can do retakes, and just go with it. Don't be worried about it, you know. Definitely worth a try, but it does take up a lot of time. There's no doubt about that. John, Holly's new black pants need to be posted out to her and get her to send photos out to you. To your subscribed numbers will rocket. Yes, they will. Yeah, they're very cool, and it's going to happen. It is. We'll get there. You're right, John. Jishan, okay, thanks, my good man. But if that's the key, how do I see if it's not working? So you've got your ignition key, which is your ignition on. So do you get dash lights and stuff, and then you'll have a start button. Is that right? You know, most motorcycles don't start on the key to crank the engine. They have a button, don't they? But yeah, get a multimeter. Start chasing voltage. Nothing will work without a voltage. So see if you can find the voltage. Simon, get the lad a bottle of argon. Yeah, I did. He used to have a bottle, but recently he hasn't had time to use his tigs. In actual fact, what he does is he goes and buys those little disposable ones, just for little jobs. He finds it's a lot cheaper in the long run for him than, because he uses it so sporadically, than renting a bottle like I do for the MiG, which is fine, whatever works for him. Mike's Automotive Diagnostics. I've never TIG welded, but was told if you can oxyacetylene weld, then you can TIG. I'm looking forward to learning, to be honest, as long as my eyesight doesn't fail too much. It's not doing that well at the moment, to be honest. Dave123. 10,000 new subs when Tool Girl Hannah got a new shirt. I know. I have to go back and find that video when we're done. It's an awesome video. It was done in one take, and the whole thing, I mean, the video is about 5 odd minutes long, and the whole thing probably took us 10 minutes to do, and maybe another 15 minutes to edit it up. It was just a classic. It really was. Good old Tool Girl Hannah. Simon, carbon pile battery tester and a 12-volt battery is good for load testing solenoid, as the contacts inside can carbon up. Exactly, they can't carry the load. Simon Smith, evening Andy, got you on in the van on the way home after a long day on call. Okay, well, you can listen but don't watch. Another good informative session. Thanks for taking the time to pass on your knowledge. Thank you, Simon, I do appreciate it. Jim Haynes, I bet the students would have really liked Hannah also. Yes, no doubt. Although, to be fair, all the Tool Girls hit the channel after I finished working for Unitech. But what was funny, one of my fellow lecturers who still works there, Sella, he still used some of my videos in his lectures. And I think they were making a logic probe. So they were watching the video on a big TV screen. He sent me a photo of the TV with my video on it and the students in class, which was quite nice, on Messenger. Made me laugh. I'd just started working for my new employer at that point. And the video finished. And, you know, everybody's busy working away at the benches and stuff. And the video finishes and the volumes are really loud. And then, of course, YouTube being YouTube, starts to play another one of my videos. And it turned out to be Hannah basically putting on a new shirt. And this was in his lecture. I think he was busy talking to a student, so it did get quite deep into the video before he managed to get it turned off. which was hilarious. Funny. But you're right, Jim. They do like they would definitely have liked Hannah. Mike's Automotive Diagnostics test light. Yes, you could use a test light. Simple as that. John Nuttall. Trev's blog has good tips on TIG welding. I need to get into it. I just don't have time at the moment. And I'm a go-to MIG kind of a guy, to be honest. For most of my welding, it's all MIG. But I would like to get the hang of using a TIG welder. I can do aluminium with it, and aluminum, there you go. And just, you know, just different stuff. Just another option, isn't it? And it could be here for a while. I might have Ben's TIG for quite a while. We'll see. Mike's Automotive Diagnostics. The Hannah video was why I subscribed. Classic case. Good job, Mike. Connor K. Oh, Hannah, my dream girl. Yeah, take a ticket, join the queue. Jason Moodley. Okay, cool. Thanks for your help. No problem. Let us know how you get on next Sunday, Jason. Okay. Right, crew. Coffee is very cold and it's got some ash in it as well. Yeah, hasn't made the taste any better. We're 2 hours and 6 minutes in. How the hell did we get to 2 hours? Honestly, it's ridiculous. Okay, I have got some fabrication work to finish off. I've got a ute to fill up with scrap metal. I've got some. Oh, you didn't see the plates. Jeez, it's going to get even longer. Hang on. Right, here we go. Look at these. Isn't that smart? Came out really, really well. Obviously, need a bit of a cleanup. Bloody good job. So we've got the main plates. There's two, obviously, one for each side. We've got this little bracket here, which, believe it or not, has got, I think you can see on camera now, it's got a slight fold in it. You can see the fold line there where the machine's left. 3.31 degrees. Woohoo, pretty accurate. That bolts to the frame of the bike. And then lines up with those holes there, to give you an idea. We then have these little plates. These sit inside some channel. There's two channels that support the footwell originally. And again, they've got a 3.3 degree fold here and a 3.3 degree fold there. So you can probably just to say see that on camera. It's very minor. And then that angle there is the angle that the foot plate, the main plate, sits at to fit snug under the footwell. So there's two of them for each kit. And then lastly, there's a little piece here that bolts on there, which goes up inside the underneath of the footwell and provides support right on the outer lip of the footwell as well. So there's like no give in the whole thing at all. So it all came out really, really well. The original designs, hang on, I think I've got them up here actually. What have we got? There we go. So that's my design for this. Yeah, you see, basically. Obviously there's a few little radiuses and stuff not been drawn in, but it gives you an idea of what it is. That's as good as it gets in my workshop. So that's plate D. We've got, just turning it around, hang on a minute, bear with me. That one there, with all the dimensions, is that, drawn full size. Well, basically, I just drew around the one that I made, and then put the measurements on. Doesn't have the fold line on it there, on that drawing, but it does have a fold, very slight fold. That's that one. And then you've got this plate, which you probably can see now from the drawing. I do that, look how it all lines up. So again, you've got all the dimensions for that as well. It's pretty cool. So we'll get rid of that, get rid of that, and then this is the main plate. There you go, look. And I'm pretty sure all these dimensions are right. So there you go, I'll just scan down. So if you ever decide to make your own, for whatever reason, you've got all the measurements to do that. just scanning up. I know it's very difficult from a drawing perspective like that on video, but you should have everything you need. But it came out really, really well. I just hope it fits. Right, back to the bench. Jeez. Okay. What are we on now? 2 hours and 10 minutes. Jim K, those look great. Very happy with them, Jim. Very, very happy. Just hope that I don't need to make any changes, because otherwise it's going to be a very long day. I need to get them fitted today, because I really need to confirm the bulk, the batch cut next week, so that then they're all finished when I come back from the South Island. Okay, crew, thank you very much for joining. I'm going to be on the road from Wednesday, well, basically on the road from tomorrow, to be honest. I'm going to go up to Auckland. Ute's getting serviced on Tuesday, new tyres, new battery. Yes, it's got a chip in the windscreen. No time to fix that. It'll be fine. And I'm away for basically 3 weeks. Get back on Saturday, the 30th of October. And then, of course, back in the workshop on the Sunday for another in-workshop live stream. But between now and then, there will be live streams on the road for the next couple of Sundays. 8:30 a.m. Sunday morning, as always. There'll be locations. So the first one will be in Queenstown, and the second one will be in Christchurch. How's that? Right, we've covered loads of stuff today. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much for that, and for all your comments and for your time. I mean, that 2 hours. 2 hours is a long time to spend with Andy in the workshop, out of your day. So I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Cheers, crew. Thank you very much. Over and out.